Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are strapping in for the absolute underdog story. Seriously, this is a classic tale of betrayal, reincarnation, and just jaw-dropping revenge. We're tracking the epic journey of Yi Mo. Now, just imagine being at the absolute peak of power, right? Only to be struck down and reborn into the body of literally the weakest, most bullied outcast at a high school. Well, that's exactly where our story kicks off, and trust me, you are not going to want to look away as he claws his way back to the top.
Okay, so let's dive into this, because the event that really kicks everything into gear is, well, it's a physical impossibility. Picture this. Yinmo is known as the biggest loser on campus. He's so fragile he supposedly fainted just waiting for his turn at the track test. But then he steps up, and he doesn't just run 1,000 meters without breaking a sweat. He absolutely obliterates the 100-meter dash in 9.98 seconds. He shatters the school record and just effortlessly breezes past the star athlete, Lin Bei. The power discrepancy here is off the charts. So, you gotta ask, how does a known weakling suddenly run like an Olympic gold medalist?
To answer that, we really have to look at this timeline. See, the soul inside this high schooler isn't a teenager at all. He's actually a master warrior from the Liu Ye continent. For 50 relentless years, he cultivated his power until he was the strongest man alive. He even defeated the invading Demon King. But on day 0 of his victory, while he's completely exhausted, he gets betrayed and murdered by his own girlfriend. Ouch, right? But instead of fading into nothingness, his soul reincarnates. He wakes up on Earth, trapped in the body of a sickly, bullied teenager who just happens to share his name, Yi Mo. The stakes here, incredibly high. He's stranded on a new planet, stuck in a pathetic physical form, and totally surrounded by enemies.
Section 1. Rebirth of a Warrior. The weak outcast awakens his past power. We're jumping right into the immediate action of his awakening here, because Yi Mo, he doesn't sit around feeling sorry for himself. The second the memories of this new, pathetic body flood his mind, he gets straight to work.
Now, to grasp his rapid power-up, we need to quickly talk about the magic system of this world. Think of spiritual energy like a mystical life force. Kind of like the Force, right? It exists everywhere, but it's totally invisible to ordinary people. On Earth, it's incredibly thin, almost non-existent. But because Yi Mo was a master cultivator in his past life, he knows exactly how to extract it. So he immediately starts absorbing this super thin ambient energy, clearing the blocked meridians in his new body. And boom, he instantly gains superhuman physical abilities, setting his massive master plan into motion.
So, the crucial point here is Yi Mo's 3-step survival and progression plan. Step 1, make money. The original Yi Mo was dead broke. Step 2, buy cultivation resources. He needs things like rare medicinal herbs to level up his body. And Step 3, cultivate all the way back up to the 11th stage, force his way back to his home continent, and exact some brutal revenge on the traitors who murdered him. Pretty solid plan, right? But first, he's got to deal with the bully standing right in front of him.
Which brings us right back to that unbelievable number, 9.98 seconds. When he runs that dash, he actually deliberately pauses at the starting line. He lets the track star Lin Bei get a massive head start, and then he just bursts forward like a flash of lightning to tear through the finish ribbon. And he doesn't stop there. When Lin Bei and his gang try to extort him for protection money right after the race, Yi Mo just effortlessly dodges their strikes. He shatters them with brutal single-blow counterattacks, sending them flying like rag dolls. He leaves them begging for mercy on their knees, and he takes back every single cent they ever stole from him. The weak outcast is officially dead. The warrior has arrived.
All right, Section 2, Miracles and Spiritual Talismans. Selling magic to the elite. So Yi Mo has totally asserted his dominance. But let's be real, beating up high school bullies doesn't really pay the big bills. He desperately needs cash to buy those medicinal herbs and level up.
And this brings us to talismans. By injecting his spiritual energy into special paper, Yi Mo can create items that produce literal miracles. He hits the streets trying to sell them and ends up running into a wealthy young woman named Su Jingwen. Her mother is in a deep, medically incurable vegetative state. Yi Mo confidently offers her a spirit talisman for $50,000. And despite literally everyone around calling him a street fraud, Su Jingwen takes a massive leap of faith. She places the talisman on her mother's hand, and miraculously, her mother wakes up. So Yi Mo instantly secures his funding. But as you might guess, his flashy new business starts attracting some very dark attention.
Yeah, a group of vicious, armed drug dealers start stalking him, but Yi Mo is always 3 steps ahead. He purposefully lures all 30 of these armed assassins into a dead-end alley. And when his classmate Wang Ying accidentally gets caught in the crossfire and taken hostage, Yi Mo doesn't even blink. He moves faster than the eye can track, just flashing forward instantly. He shatters the gang leader's arm, slams him into the brick wall, and then just proceeds to dismantle the entire heavily armed gang single-handedly. It is a breathtaking display of raw, overpowered dominance.
But that takes us right into Section 3, Prison Fights and Cultivation, a deadly trap behind bars. The police arrive at the alley, but a corrupt inspector named Wang Lei immediately arrests Ye Mo, framing him for the brawl. Now, Ye Mo doesn't resist at all. He knows a mastermind is pulling strings in the shadows, and he wants to follow the breadcrumbs straight to the source. So he just lets himself be thrown right into a deadly trap behind bars.
Waiting for him in the cell is this absolute unit of an assassin named Zhou Kuan, who is radiating faint spiritual energy. Zhou looks at Ye Mo and sneers, "I always thought you were just an ordinary person. From now on, you're going to suffer." Well, Zhou Kuan clearly has no idea who he is messing with. Ye Mo completely outclasses him. He just vanishes from where he stands, appears right in front of Zhou, and launches him across the cell with a single punch. In a crazy rapid-fire brawl, Ye Mo absolutely crushes this assassin, leaving him broken on the prison floor. Moving right along to Section 4, the Youth-Preserving Pill, mastering the second stage. So instead of killing the assassin, Ye Mo actually interrogates him. Zhou reveals he has a sick child and only fights for money to buy divine water. Ye Mo instantly realizes this divine water is actually concentrated spirit liquid, so he makes a deal. He cures Zhou's child with a talisman, and in exchange, Zhou gives him the spirit liquid. And this brilliantly illustrates the exponential growth of a cultivator. Ye Mo consumes this spirit liquid and instantly breaks through to the second stage of cultivation. He masters a technique called the Cloud Shadow Step, which makes him so incredibly fast that he can now effortlessly dodge point-blank gunfire. No joke. With his new powers unlocked, Su Jingwen, the wealthy woman from earlier, gets him out of jail and invites him to a luxury banquet. Here, Ye Mo leverages his alchemy skills, debuting a youth-preserving pill. He has an elderly woman consume it right in front of the crowd, instantly restoring her youthful appearance. This sparks an absolute bidding war among the city's billionaires. So Ye Mo is now rich, powerful, and ready for war.
Which leads us to Section 5, Defeating the Mastermind, the Song family conspiracy. While Ye Mo is out securing his fortune, the true villain finally steps out of the shadows. Angered by all his failures, the mastermind's enforcers actually kidnap Su Jingwen, tying her up in a heavily guarded villa. So Ye Mo is forced into this violent, one-man rescue mission, literally tearing through security gates and dodging a storm of bullets with his Cloud Shadow Step.
When Ye Mo finally corners the man pulling the strings, Song Xiaoen, the young master of the powerful Song family, we get this incredible villain monologue. Song yells out, "You want to know the reason? Because a useless trash like you was once Ningqing Shui's fiancé." And guys, that is the entire motive. It's just pure petty jealousy. The original Ye Mo was engaged to a beautiful, powerful woman named Ningqing Shui, and Song Xiaoen wanted Ye Mo dead simply to erase that minor stain on her history. Crazy, right?
Now, what's really interesting about this is the amazing contrast between the villain and our hero. Song Xiaoen struts around like he's a god, but he's completely fake. He relies entirely on a magical artifact, a ring that allows him to change his face and disguise his body double. He possesses absolutely zero real spiritual energy. Ye Mo, on the other hand, wields pure, raw spiritual energy. He uses true martial prowess and speed that terrifyingly outclasses this cowardly villain. This final showdown is an absolute masterclass. Ye Mo exposes Song's face-stealing disguise trick, and he actually teams up with his ex-fiancée Ningqing Shui, who turns out to be a flawed cultivator herself. When Song panics and orders two elite teleporting monk assassins to kill them, Ye Mo doesn't even flinch. He just effortlessly kicks both monks right out of the air, shattering their magical substitute talismans. He completely neutralizes their magic and backs the mastermind right into a corner. After completely dismantling the threat, Ye Mo and Ningqing Shu retreat to his home. He realizes her aggressive cultivation method is literally killing her. So in this beautifully quiet, intimate moment, amidst all the chaos, he places two fingers on her forehead, entering her mental space. He teaches her his true, gentle method of absorbing spiritual energy, which ultimately saves her life. He then tasks her with guarding his home and his beloved rescue dog, Little 16, as he prepares for his next journey. Let's move to Section 6 and see how this builds. Ambush on the Liosha Road, the journey for the Spirit Spring. So Ye Mo's spirit liquid is completely gone. If he wants to reach the third stage, he needs a massive energy source. He learns about a legendary spirit spring hidden deep in a lawless border territory called Liosha. So Yahello travels to the super dangerous smuggler town of Galabon to find a guide. He tags along with a mysterious masked woman named Wendong. But to secure a ride, they have to help a local smuggler named Uncle Aiguo, who's walked right into a rigged, high-stakes casino debt trap. He owes a loan shark a staggering $6.5 million, and the only way to clear it is to win a game of dice against the casino's foreign trump card.
In this ridiculously tense matchup, Wendong steps up first. She relies on superhuman hearing, but the high stakes quickly shake her nerve. Then we have William, the casino champion, who is secretly cheating using a magical spiritual cufflink that lets him telekinetically control the dice. But then, Yahello steps in. He casually drops $1.2 million in cash on the table. And he doesn't just block William's magic, he completely overpowers the artifact with his raw, massive energy. He forces the dice to roll an impossible, odd-numbered triple, 3 ones. When William tries to attack, Yahello moves like a ghost. He shatters the magical cufflink instantly and totally terrifies the cheater into submission.
With the deck cleared, Yahello and Wendong board the smuggler's convoy heading into the deep jungle. But of course, peace never lasts long for Yahello. Out of nowhere, a massive tree trunk violently crashes down, totally blocking the road. Heavily armed thugs from the notorious Flower Gang swarm the vehicles, and total chaos erupts. A guy on the bus who had been claiming to be a powerful cultivator instantly drops to his knees, literally crying and begging for his life. But amidst all the screaming passengers and drawn weapons, Yahello just sits there, perfectly silent, eyes cool and analytical. The menacing boss of the Flower Gang slowly walks through the terrified crowd, literally stepping over the crying fake cultivator. His eyes lock right onto Yahello. He smirks, gripping his weapon, and says, "There is someone interesting here. From the very beginning, this guy hasn't shown me an ounce of respect." The gang boss thinks he has cornered a helpless rat. He has absolutely no idea he just picked a fight with a reborn god of war. And guys, that is exactly where the source material leaves us hanging on a massive cliffhanger. Surrounded by armed mercenaries in the middle of a dense jungle, the secretly overpowered Yahello is about to show them exactly why you do not disrespect a master cultivator. I mean, will he wipe out the entire Flower Gang? And what ancient secrets are waiting for him at the Spirit Spring in Liosha? It's such a brilliant setup that leaves us absolutely desperate to see what level of power Yahello unleashes next. But that's all for today's explainer. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you next time.